Next up, from the Postgres Pro side of things, we have Ivan Panchenko, Deputy CEO, Postgres Pro. Welcome.
Hello, dear friends. So I am happy to speak here at the opening of this monitoring day. And this is a really great event when two great communities, Postgres and Zabbix, meet to help each other. So thank Alexei and Zabbix team for the invitation. And let's start. Okay, so my side is Postgres side. I will speak a little about Postgres. So who am I? Initially, I'm an astrophysicist. It's not only my university degree, but I'm really a fan of astrophysics. And now I want to share some ideas about it. Astrophysics, I think, is very helpful subject for IT people. Why? Physics is an art of mental modeling of the universe. And these models later become mathematical models, and then they are implemented in software and databases.
Ivan, let me interrupt for a second. We can actually see your camera. If you want to share a presentation right now, then we cannot see it. We can see your camera now. Just that.
Okay.
And I think now we can see it. Yes,
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so about astrophysics. Astrophysics, yes, it's physics. In general, physics is art of mental modeling, but astrophysics is the same at greater scale. It teaches how to think with unusual categories, with things which are very large, and time when other physical laws act. So try to imagine black holes, for example, or great parts of space, metagalactic scales, where the speed of light is very slow, just only square root of 3 times greater than speed of sound. So astrophysics is a great brain exercise, which is very useful, very good for IT people, just to train their brains. So return to Postgres. When I started working as IT person, it was when I was a university student. I came to databases very soon, and I understood that any IT project has database inside. I started from DBase and FoxPro, then Progress. There was such a database, Progress, and then I came to Postgres. It's, I think, logical. First, I have Progress, and then I get Postgres. So such a logical thing. Then I became really fond of Postgres because it was very easy to study. But first, it was not easy to install at the time. There was no convenient packaging, so I needed to build it by hand and then include the start script into the init tab in order to provide automatic restarts in the case of a crash. But from the time Postgres became more stable and smart, and I learned it better, so widely using it in application development in various web applications, business scientific systems, etc. Then I got Postgres friends, I can say that, joined the community, and 5 years ago we decided to organize the first Russian conference, Pgcon.ru, and soon after that, we founded Postgres Professional company. So we thought that time of companies came to Postgres community from the beginning, when the Postgres community consists of just individuals, as well as Postgres has grown. The community also has changed, and now it consists of both companies and individual professionals. So the community reflects the growth of this product. Postgres community is really very flexible, and it is one of the reasons for stability of Postgres. So from the time our company has lived for more than 5 years, we have great experience. We have approximately 100 people working, and we work together on open source, and we work on our private fork, which is called Postgres Pro. It is a fork of Postgres, which has some special patches and adaptations for high workload and for better reliability and so on. So having an own fork is necessary because it's the best way to deliver our results to the customers. We need to control the release cycle, and we need the customers to have some standardized versions, just not some specific combinations of patches and fixes in each case. This allows to work effectively and fast. So this is a reason of having forks. But of course, some of customers are large and they have high workloads, and that's why community Postgres is not enough. We really need to change it. But also, those customers have great need in monitoring, and we also need monitoring to understand what's happening in our customers' databases. So, of course, we started to work with different monitoring solutions, and mainly with Zabbix. The idea was to merge our knowledge and experience on Postgres monitoring, and Zabbix software. So what is happening now is quite natural. We started collaboration with Zabbix, and this allowed us to develop some monitoring software, the agent for Zabbix, which is released, and you can enjoy it in Zabbix since 5.01 and then later versions. Okay, so Postgres popularity is growing. I just want to show you some graph. Now Postgres becomes a real cornerstone of the global IT landscape, and in future maybe of the global IT market. So what we are seeing on this graph, this is a relative growth of popularity measured by some portal dbengines.com. It is popularity in social media. You see that something has changed, and the change point is 6 years ago. What happened that time? That time we introduced JSON-B support in Postgres. JSON-B is a kind of tool or a kind of approach to handle JSON. It means unstructured or semi-structured data in a very effective and fast way. JSON-B was developed from my colleagues from Postgres Pro from Moscow, and you see that when JSON-B introduced, some popularity growth started, and it is just tremendous growth. We really believe that this is not a random correlation, but that time was the time of NoSQL boom, and people who wanted to work with unstructured data, they came to Postgres and they joined the community. That's the reason for this growth. Okay, next graph shows that the hiring trends from another source. It shows that Postgres, in competition with other classical SQL databases, Postgres is the blue line, the upper line. You see that Postgres is really growing. That is a champion now. So welcome to Postgres. Okay, why is it so? Why is Postgres so popular? I believe that first it is because of its scientific base. It was introduced by scientists, namely by Michael Stonebreaker from University of California at Berkeley. It's a famous person in database science and a Turing Award laureate. Postgres was initially an implementation of his ideas. Then he made it a commercial project, but after some years made it open source. And from that time, a great period of community life has started. The community gathered around the code which was published, and probably people liked how correctly and systematically is this code written, and people like the ideas of Stonebreaker, which were published in some article. But probably the main idea of Stonebreaker, which attracted people, was the idea of high extendability. This allowed just to make lots of interesting features, including the NoSQL and geospatial features, which in Postgres are together with transactional consistency with ACID. And this is really a great thing which was allowed by Stonebreaker's ideas, by the Postgres base, which was introduced just 35 years ago. Another important thing for Postgres popularity is its license. It is like BSD, and it has no single center of ownership. Postgres doesn't belong and is not controlled by a single company. This allows to make commercial private forks to companies. These forks are useful because they allow companies to get more financial resources to invest into development, to carry out long-term projects, and by that deliver to the customers more complicated features. That's why we have a community of special structure, which have things to do both for companies and for individuals, and some kind of harmony and equilibrium exists. Okay, so now we see that community evolves, and next time to come is growth, not only growth of community, but contacts between communities, and the contact between community of Postgres and Zabbix is happening right now. So thank you for coming here. Thank you for attention. And finally, I want to invite you to pgcon.ru, which probably will happen in March next year. It will be probably completely online, maybe partially online. It is done in 2 languages with simultaneous translation in Russian and English. So people from all the world can come and take part in the online part at least. Okay, so thank you very much. And now come to the main program of our meetup.
Thank you a lot, Ivan. That was actually a really interesting background. And thank you for kind of sharing a little bit of your experience about how you decided working with Postgres. And I think a lot of maybe attendees will find some similarities of why they also picked Postgres.